Welcoming you all for yet another session on 3D Graphy News. As many of would know, that 3D Graphy News has been in the conscious effort of promoting 3D technology globally. Also, since we have a panel of respondents from various different countries representing 3D technology, and 3D technology constitutes of 3D printing, 3D imaging, 3D scanning, 3D visualization. AR and VR is also an important source. Because both will complement each other, though it's been in the tangible asset. Here is also the solid models for people to assess. But at the same time, ladies and gentlemen, it is also material science, which is actually will keep things going, because now we see a lot of development in new materials, and that will be an area that needs to be watched out for. And that's where researchers and scientists and material scientists can see an opportunity to come together, work with surgeons and respondents to come up with these solutions. So we would actually be an active respondent, being a catalyst there and trying to serve the purpose so that the end user and the patients can benefit from these materials. Where there are many bone-like materials also being looked at as an option. Resorbable materials are also materials which has been done in various IIT institutes and others. So today we have an opportunity to introduce you all to Dr. Ramya, who is one of our key respondents, also in the platform, also as an associate member of 3D Graphy. 3D Graphy, ladies and gentlemen, is a consortium. We've been actively promoting this technology for the last 8 years. We've done almost 43 events in the last in a span of 8 years. And the conscious effort is always to see that the technology respondent and the end user gets to connect and see how we can take the course forward. So here is an opportunity for us to also have an interview with Dr. Ramya, who has been in the research space, also a material scientist, also a scientist working on various aspects in terms of solutions. So quickly, I will go to Dr. Ramya. Doctor, very good afternoon to you. May I ask you, how it all started? Also, to quickly give your background and give your, where it all started for you to give an insight to the audience. Thank you.
First of all, thank you so much, Dr. Shibu John, for giving me this platform, because I always wanted to talk to people and I wanted to know how, take this forward. So this actually looks as if, the path is coming up to me. So basically, I am an oral physician and a maxillofacial radiologist. I'm a dentist. I've done my BDS and MDS. This all started with a problem statement to develop biodegradable implants. So once I finished my MDS in 2016, I just attended a small conference on 3D printing. So at that point of time, it was a very small conference, a small workshop, where I came to know about 3D printing in other industries as such, generally. So I could see the future of 3D printing in dentistry. As you can see now, past 7-8 years, you can see there's an exponential growth in all the industries and even in dentistry. So I sacrificed my clinical practice and I joined up as a researcher in IIT Hyderabad. So this is all started with this. So the basic idea to join IIT Hyderabad was to develop an implant which is biodegradable and which can be used for craniomaxillofacial reconstruction. So after I joined IIT Hyderabad, we have developed in all these 5 years of research, we could successfully develop a biomaterial which can be 3D printable. It is biodegradable. It is super bioactive, and we have done all the in vitro characterizations. You name it, all the cell culture assays, and we have done all the mechanical testing, various other characterizations which a material needs to be characterized to go into an implant stage. And then other than that, we have seen all the strength of it so that it should match and it should be slightly higher than that of the target bone. Because as we know, because of the stress shielding effect, which is there for the titanium and stainless steel, because of the very high strength, there is a stress shielding effect. So we are making sure that we answer this solution also. The material should be slightly higher and balance that of the native target bone's strength. So in addition to that, we have done various other characterizations of biodegradation, and we have seen that the material is biodegrading without having any foreign body reactions. And after that, we went on to optimize all the 3D printing protocols, all the parameters to successfully 3D print that material. And next, we have also took the patient CT data. Have seen whether this material can be 3D printable into complex structures. And to our wonders, to our surprise, we could see wonders. There was a complete. We could successfully print all the patient anatomical models with high accuracy. After doing all this, we wanted to take this forward. We have our own patent for this particular material. And then we have also started phase 1 in vivo animal trials. So even that, we got a very good results with the animal trials. So I'm actually looking forward to take this material ahead. And the main idea is this material or this particular biodegradable implant has to reach every needy patient. That is the main strategy where this whole journey has started in 2016.
It's very interesting, Doctor, for the kind of efforts, and also as you mentioned that you sacrificed your main line of the interest of the profession and then deviated for your research, and that's the passion, and that's the reason why you've been able to achieve what you want to. But if it has to be commercialized, there are certain the processes that we will need to go through when it comes to validation, certification, FDA approvals. So, how
Yes.
do you try? I mean, what is the process that you would want to follow? Are
See,
you also working in? I mean, I'm sure you're working with the institute. So, as an incubation center, what is the process? Because we are also looking at seeing a prospect of startups who would also want to get into this kind of a space
yes.
for the government to come back and then also support the initiative. Yeah.
Frankly speaking, I'm not looking as a startup. I'm looking to collaborate with some industry who is already into this background, because I am a mother of 2 kids. There's so many other responsibilities which I have to take care. So I know there's successful women who are already doing it very well with the kids, but that is not what I'm looking forward. I cannot go for a startup and then do the market strategy and all that. I'm looking for an industry collaboration where the people are where they're already the masterminds are already there, and I want to take this material, give it to them, and do the whole processing for me.
So you would want to get into an affiliation kind of a
Yes.
partnership with them going forward, being a part of the organization.
Yes.
So now that the animal trials are all done, are we also looking at going in for a human trial? So what is the procedure that you
So
will need to follow?
actually, there is something called, I think you will be knowing. It is called TRL 4 to TRL 9, the technology readiness level. So we are at TRL 5 now. So it has to reach TRL 9. So the main steps, roughly, to be, I think there'll be here and there. There can be changes or modifications regarding this. So phase 1 animal trials of small animals, then goes the higher animals, and that animal the bone morphology has to be in match with that of in the bone metabolism should be in match with that of the human bones. So basically higher animals like dogs or pigs, and then it goes for the preclinical human trials.
Okay. So,
Yes.
so currently, this you're using this filament. This is a filament based
This is actually,
extrusion, or
yeah. So to answer this correctly, this is right now we have a raw material. We can prepare it as a filament and sell it as such to the 3D printing experts and ask them to 3D print it. Or it can be used in an extrusion based 3D printer also. So there are two types here. There is FDM printer, there is an extrusion based printer. So in an FDM printer, you actually make a filament and then you print it. In extrusion printer, directly the material can be printed out from the pellets. So right now we have the pellets. So this can be formed into a filament and then printed, or it can be directly printed into the patient's anatomical models.
so if you're looking at institutions or even companies, what is the framework that you would want to get into, just for the audience to also know?
So basically, I'm looking for industry only because I am already into IT Hyderabad. So we are looking for industry collaboration because that is what lagging behind. Actually, that is the main thing I want to stress to every big organization of every big person all over India. See why research is still so stagnant and still so slow. The main reason is there is no one roof under which a doctor, engineer, and an industrialist is being together. You have a medical college which is isolated. They are doing their own stuff. They have their own problems, and they don't know how to solve it, but still they're going on with it. The engineers, they think that we can do a lot of innovation, but at the same time they don't know exactly what an operation theater needs. Some slight modification of their innovation which actually turn up and makes things faster. And after all this research, we don't know how to bring it to the patient. So this key collaboration, as you can see in, if you name it, Harvard, John Hopkins, whatever the big universities, in one single roof, they have every collaboration. So there is a complete network being
An
there.
ecosystem.
So they know the path.
An
Yeah, they know
ecosystem
the system. They know the path.
integrated with all the aspects so that you can just walk in and then get the right
Yes.
connects. Yeah.
Yes.
So that is
So that
also
actually reduces a lot of stress or effort to it, which you don't have to do it. It is something novel. It has to reach to the patient. So why should so worry about it? That should not be there.
very true.
That's
So that the innovators can innovate and create ideas to then see that it makes feasible sense for their time and effort being made into this particular
yes,
exercise. Very true, doctor. And I think these are problems, and I would say like more like an end user's inputs. Problem statements are the reason for us to get the final solution. So I'm sure policymakers are also addressing this. So ours is more like a consortium, doctor. If you know, our intent is to also see that we have doctors and surgeons and also end users and also researchers come together, and also some of the key respondents who also represent policymakers. 3D Graphy has been consciously working towards 14 different sectors. One is aerospace, defense, automobile, dental, medical, orthotics, and prosthetics. Each of these bioprinting and tissue engineering. So I think the larger intent is to also see that how there can be an ecosystem and a collaboration. So rightly so, as you rightly mentioned, in terms of what is the need of the hour. So though we work on a private set kind of a model, but I think the government setup also needs to have that kind of an ecosystem. And I'm sure with time, many of the
yes,
institutions are
definitely.
also working
With
on that.
with organizations like you, people like you, government. I don't think government will take its own initiative right now. But people like you can step forward and make the government understand that this is what actually has to be done. That
Very.
is, yeah.
So our efforts are there. So that's the reason that we're trying to work
Yes,
together.
yes,
And now that you're
yes,
also one of the key respondents, Dr. Ramya, I think we will need to see how we can fill in that gaps in terms of
yes.
trying to get the connect. Largely now with this kind of a collaboration, are you also looking at an international scope of a market? Because I'm sure
Yes,
that
definitely.
also
Yes, yes, definitely.
because that also comes with a lot of so when the affiliation can be counted indigenously with companies, I think the openness should also be for global, because as
Yes,
it reaches to a global market, I think that will also mean that it gets more traction
yes,
for people to actually gain that kind of a response. So any specific institutions globally, because every institution will also be aligned with the industry, as you rightly said that uh, you know, uh, the Hopkins and the Harvard University. Are you also looking at some kind of an affiliation there, doctor? I mean,
Uh,
do you
as of
like
now,
affiliation? Yeah.
as of now, I haven't thought so much about it. There is no plan as such. But first thing, I always wanted to have a path in India. If I couldn't see, then maybe, as every other person is going abroad, I think I also have to do that. So I don't know. There is no specific answer for it, but I want the end of the day, the path. I want the path for it. So it has to go globally, as you asked me, but it will be like a collaboration, and even these things which I couldn't explore. If I could learn, come back, and then do it or
Yeah.
something
So
like
you
that.
want to have a set pathway going forward in terms of your goals. and you're very open-ended in terms of making a choice.
Yes.
Right? So,
Yes.
Doctor, with this particular patent that you already have been able to formulate, any other plans for any other materials in terms of your expectations that you're looking at? I'm
Actually,
talking
we are
about
also doing.
resorbable materials, or you did mention about biodegradable. Are you also seeing an
Yes.
opportunity for resorbable materials? Various hydroxyapatite in combination with various composites. Are you also looking at
Yeah.
some kind of
The
a scope there?
whatever. So whatever material I've developed, we have also modifying that material, and we are trying to see where even that fits into. So there's a slight. So we'll be applying for another patent also. There's as you said, with hydroxyapatite and bioactive glass and tricalcium phosphate. Few other materials we are trying to mix and match and see how the implant or the material is going to be. Because the main challenge here is how much ever materials you add up, the end of the day you have to 3D print it. So the 3D printing parameter optimization itself takes its own its own efforts. So it is not just about adding a material, and you, as we all know, that this tricalcium phosphate, hydroxyapatite, bioactive glass, borate glass, all these are very much bioactive, and they're bone friendly. But how much amount to add to maintain the strength? There is no nozzle blockage, and how all the parameters are optimized to perfectly print it. That itself takes its own challenge. So that keep the balance going on. So based on that, we are working how much, what exactly it goes on, and we'll try to see what is going to come next.
Doctor, that with bone-like materials now, doctors are also looking at in malignant cancer. People, doctors are also looking at options wherein you can actually have this bony structure made up of materials which are more bone-like, I would say. So,
Yes,
you also see a scope in that direction when it comes to
yes, yes, definitely,
mostly in
definitely.
mostly in head and neck in reconstructive surgery, because
Yes,
load bearing could not be that much comparatively, except for TMJ in certain areas. But otherwise,
yes,
head and neck, I think there's a huge scope. So, any thoughts on that?
yes. Yes, yes. So the whole see, the only thing, the idea of starting biodegradable implants or resorbable implants. So to specify, my idea was to specify only for the fracture cases. When you're targeting large aspects, then biodegradation itself will become a challenge, because how the more than the optimal bone regeneration, the bone doesn't form. So you have to take that into consideration, the critical size defect and the subcritical size defect. Take that into consideration, and then select the material what you're using for the reconstructive surgeries.
Okay, so I think it has to be with the understanding in terms of the design and
Yes,
also the material properties
yes,
in terms of how it is going to act with time.
yes,
So I think it all.
yes.
And also here, what are the other technologies that you would probably 3D printing being one aspect? Is 3D simulation is also being used for your required
No, I'm only
surgery?
looking for 3D print.
Okay, so no 3D simulation that you are
No,
looking
only
at.
3D printing is.
Okay, that takes care of your end requirement. Okay. So good, doctor. Thank you so much for your time. I think it's very insightful in terms of the efforts being made, and wishing you all the best in terms of your endeavor. And I'm sure we will work together
Thank
in
you.
terms of seeing that the larger interest is also met with for respondents who are very, very proactive and who've been really working hard in terms of creating these products. And that's the support that even government is also being able to now look at in terms of supporting startups. I mentioned because but anybody who comes with an idea is always encouraged. So ideapreneur
Yes.
is also a concept now that any idea is a potential going forward. So congratulations and all the very best. And welcome to the consortium, the 3D Graphic Consortium, and we will definitely see how we can mature with time in terms of seeing that the information source is rightly shared and also be gained through the course. Thank you so much, Doctor, for your
Thank you
time.
so much. Thank you so much. Really, I totally appreciate all your efforts. Bringing the what I've told, bringing up people together, that actually takes up a lot of efforts. Truly, you are actually truly an inspiration. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, doctor. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.